In today's video, I'm sharing my 5 favorite DIY projects for 2025 that are easy, budget-friendly, and on trend. Welcome to the Chic Show. Today's video is hosted by Lady Red Crafting in our gray house. I loved this little garden sign that I got from, well, it's from Dollar Tree. They had some kind of like this last year at Dollar General. I'm going to give it a sand with my little finger sander so that the paint I'm going to use will have a better chance of sticking. Then I took it outside and I gave it a coat of spray paint just in black. And now I'm using some of Dixie Belle's patina paint, and this is the iron patina paint, and I'm just brushing it in random places over the sign. Once that paint has dried, I go back over it again because the patina spray needs to be applied to the wet paint. So one coat is dry, the next coat is wet, and I'm spraying on the patina spray. And I made a couple of other patina sprays as well to see if they would work. The patina spray I have is green. I made one using salt and vinegar and some blue paint, and then salt and vinegar and some yellow paint to see if I could get some other shades of rust, if you will. Here's the way it turned out, and while I do like the rusty look of it, it is hard to read the letters. So I went back with a little bit of black rub and buff and went over each of the letters just so that they would stand out a little bit. I liked the way this looked, and it didn't seem to give it too much of a new look to it, so I went ahead and went over the other details of the sign as well. I used a piece of rusty floral wire to hang the sign, just fed it through the original holes at the top, twisted it around, and this little garden sign was ready to be hung. Some fancy farm carrots for you. I made these carrots using resin and using the IOD tapers molds from Christmas. And now I'm using some of Waverly chalk paint in pumpkin, and I'm going to paint each of the carrots. Once the paint was dry, I coated each of the carrots with some clear wax. This will allow the dark wax that I'm going to use next to be removed a little bit easier in places that I do want to pull it back. So I'll rub this clear wax all over, basically on the surface of the carrots and not necessarily down in all the nooks and crannies. I'm going to use this little makeup brush to get down in those nooks and crannies with this dark wax because that's where I want the dark wax to stay so that these fancy carrots will look like they've just been pulled out of a fancy garden. Now I'm going to use a dry paper towel and just come back and wipe away any of that dark wax from the surface area of the carrots so that orange paint will come back through. This is one of Dollar Tree's canvas boards, and I'm painting it with Waverly chalk paint in plaster. After the paint has had time to dry, I'm applying some different stamps from IOD. This is the ephemeral type stamp, I believe, and I'm just placing them in various places all over the canvas. I'm also using this little crackle stamp that I ordered from Amazon and just stamping it in random places as well. Now it's time to arrange our carrots onto the canvas and add some greenery. I got this greenery from a garland that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I just cut pieces of it off, and it works perfectly for these carrots. So I cut off about 3 pieces for each of the carrots, and I'm going to tie those together using a little bit of jute twine. And as you can see here, I am applying a little bit of clear and dark wax to the backing as well. Before I used the jute twine to tie those greenery pieces together, I did snap off the ends, and I used a little rubber band to hold them together. I will be adhering the greenery to the front of the carrots this time. So I am going to use some Gorilla Glue and a little bit of hot glue to attach my carrots to the backing. Greenery, I'm going to need a boatload of hot glue because you have to not only put it onto the carrots, but also behind the greenery onto the canvas. It is important to kind of hold it in place until the glue sets up. I forgot to film it, but I felt like there were a couple of spaces there that were a little blank, so I used a butterfly stamp and some egg stamps, both from IOD's Petiche Stamps. And because these are fancy carrots and I like to add a little bit of gold to most of my pieces, I'm using a little bit of gold rub and buff just to bring out those details of the carrots. I also used the rub and buff to accent the edges of the canvas. I'm pretty happy with the way these little carrots came out. I thrifted this mirror for $5 and I'm going to be adding one of IOD's gilded transfers. This transfer is from the curated signs. It wasn't a perfect fit, so I did cut it down a little bit and positioned it in place. Next, I made sure I had the center so that I could center it perfectly, so I folded it in half just at the top and the bottom so that I could see the creases. I peeled back the top of the backing paper and placed it down onto the mirror so that I could get it positioned and centered as I wanted it. And you can see I have a little help here from Maverick. And then I pulled away the rest of that backing paper. Once that is down, I'm going to use my transfer tool and rub it over all the lettering and the scrolling detail. I discovered for the scrolling detail, this little embossing tool was better since it was so thin. So I just simply went over that just like a pin line. It did take quite a while, but it seemed to work better than the transfer tool itself.
Once I was confident most everything was down, I pulled back that paper and I am left with this beautiful, beautiful detail on my mirror. I did go back and add some of the writing that didn't fit onto the mirror at the bottom. I just cut it out and moved it up a bit so that it would fit perfectly. This is a picture that I thrifted not long ago, and I'm going to be painting the entire piece, the frame and the inside, with black chalk paint. I'm using Waverly in ink. This transfer is from the Brocante transfer book by IOD, and I'm just deciding exactly what part I want to show on this piece, and then I will trim it down accordingly. Now this one you can place on in one piece. You don't have to cut it in any sections or anything because it is a flat piece. So I'm just using my transfer tool to transfer that image over to the frame. Once it's transferred, I am going to pull up that backing paper and then I will burnish over the transfer with that paper to make sure that everything is adhered down to the canvas. I think this is beautiful just as it is, but I wanted to add a little something extra at the bottom. So I chose another little piece of a transfer from that same Brocante transfer book, and I am transferring over the word rose to this little piece of drop cloth, and then I'm going to adhere that to the bottom of the frame. I'm using that sanding sponge just to go over my transfer. I'm going to add my drop cloth label using some hot glue. As with any transfer, you do need to seal it, so I am using DIY's Big Top. I then decided this piece was too black, so I'm going to be adding some gold rub and buff around the edges of the frame. This will kind of bring out the details of the frame as well. And I'm just using an old brush and I'm kind of dry brushing it on. It's not going to be completely gold. Project, I'm going to be using this beautiful Saint Nick mold. I used clear resin and let it sit overnight, and the Santa head is beautiful. It also has a little bit of holly berry at the bottom. You can see I did over pour. Try not to do that because resin is quite expensive. I'm also using this thrifted book that I got for literally pennies. I'm going to first give it a neutral coat of Dixie Belle paint in buttercream. Once the white paint has dried, I did paint over it with Waverly chalk paint in crimson, and then I sealed the paint with DIY's Big Top. I painted St. Nick with Dixie Belle's buttercream. I used a couple of different brushes for this. This larger one I used just to get the coat of paint on, and then I used a smaller, more bristly brush to get into all those nooks and crannies. Once the paint was dry, I used some Fusion Antiquing glaze, and I painted this all over the Santa Claus, making sure to get down in all of those crevices. And then I went back with a dry paper towel and wiped off the excess. This will really bring out all of those details. If there were any places that I thought had too much of the antiquing glaze in it, I used a small brush and just brushed it out that way. IOD did have a new release in their gilded transfers. I didn't purchase them yet because I still have one from last year that I hadn't used. So I am using one of the gilded transfers from last year, and I chose this word, Noel. In Louisiana, Saint Nick or Santa Claus is also known as Papa Noel. So that's what I'm going to be putting on this book. I used some of the apothecary stamps from a previous release and some gold ink pads for the Papa, and I stamped that on. I did end up going back with the gold paint pen to make it more bright. The spine of the book, I also chose the words Merry and Christmas from last year's gilded transfer. Once my transfers are down, I did use my fingers just to make sure that they were adhered nicely to the book. Now I'm going to use Titebond Quick and Thick to glue my Saint Nick to the front of the book. Thanks for watching my 5 favorite DIYs for 2025. If you love these easy DIY projects and creative ideas, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss more DIY inspiration, budget-friendly crafts, and home decor ideas all year long. If you're looking for more inspiration, don't forget to check out our host channels and the playlist in the description box below or this video right here. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to share the chic. Bye now.